Hello friend, my name is Kimberly. Welcome back to my garden. Each week the garden is looking more and more bare as the new plants are still so small and the mature plants we're harvesting. But in spite of that, I'm still getting a lot of food out of this garden. I sent quite a large care package to a friend. I harvested the things that I need for my favorite pasta dish. I have a video on how to make my favorite pasta dish if you're interested. So I was able to harvest all the ingredients for that. I'll be making that for dinner. And we're just still pulling all sorts of food out of this garden. It's amazing to me that even when we're in very low production, we still have plenty of food to eat from the garden and plenty of food to share. Here in bed number 1, my bok choy is coming up nicely. It's a different variety of bok choy than what I've grown in the past, so it'll be interesting to see how we like that. The black beans in bed 2 are doing all right. Happy to see those coming along. I've been harvesting some of the radishes today here in bed 2, and the carrots are coming along. Not as thick as the other batch, but they're doing okay. Look at this cute little pansy. And these white alyssum on the end of bed 3 are looking great. My sweet pea experiment still not doing as great as I'd like it to, but I do need to get out here and get some support on it. Bed 3 is mostly full of a lot of purple cabbages. I could harvest them any time now. Bed number 4, there's our standard bok choy grown from seed that I've collected many harvests. I've grown it, collected seeds, replanted the seeds, grown more. Romaine lettuce is coming along nice. The beets have gotten established. And the onions are looking all right. I bought this garlic to plant, but I put it in the refrigerator to cold stratify for about 6 weeks first. I'm hoping to have better success with growing garlic. Replacing the pump for our well has proved to be a much bigger project than my husband realized, and so that's still ongoing. The rhubarb's looking great. I harvested rhubarb this week and made some rhubarb strawberry jam. Had rhubarb to share with some friends. So here we are in bed number 5. I've got some fennel, my new planting of some kind of brassica, I'm not sure which kind. I've decided that these onions on the end here are leeks. These, I believe, are cauliflower, an entire bed of cauliflower. Bed number 7 is almost completely empty now. Of the last of the broccoli, I'll have to have something else I can plant there. Bed number 8 has our new broccoli, new promising broccoli. And then in bed 9, I'm planning to eat some of this zucchini tonight for dinner. Still really enjoying these carrots and this flower. Bed 10 is filling out nicely. It's got some broccoli and some cabbages, some cilantro, not a whole lot. Coming over to bed 11, this zucchini that I'm saving for seed is almost mature enough that I can harvest it. But I've got all my new plantings here. Coming down to bed 12, more broccoli and the beans starting to climb up the vines and flower. This is the Kentucky Wonder bean. Bed 13, I planted some seeds in here. I know I've got some carrot seeds on the end, and I've been busy keeping this watered. Now, we did get some rain this week a few times, and I was very grateful for the rain. But this is keeping me busy with watering morning and night to make sure that those carrot seeds can germinate. Bed 14 has some new plantings, some more mature broccoli that'll surely be gone by next week, and another zucchini plant. Bed 15 has some of our newer brassicas, some cabbages, some young cabbages, some mature cilantro, and some poorly performing broccoli at the end. If you haven't noticed, we grow a lot of broccoli. And finally, in bed 16, these are my young zucchini plants. Over here where I've planted some flowers behind the bodega, it looks like my bachelor buttons will be blooming very soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's one of the flowers I enjoyed a lot in Alaska. So here on the back side of the bodega, we have first some blueberry plants and then some raspberry plants. Now these blueberry plants are just barely holding on. Some of them are clearly still alive, and others I'm not so sure about. But I gave them a little bit of love. They've been neglected back here. This week I gave them some attention, pruned them back, and went to my neighbor's house. They have a lot of large pine trees, and I was able to harvest some of the pine needles, branches, and I cut them up to put them here to try to acidify the soil. See if we can get these blueberries happy, healthy, and producing for us. I'll be keeping you posted on how that goes. What a difference from last week. This milkweed plant was covered in caterpillars and they've eaten it almost down to nothing. And I've been moving a lot of the caterpillars over to this plant where there's some more healthy growth. And you can see they're covering it. But this plant has an infestation of golden aphids. I've never seen golden aphids before until I saw them on my milkweed plant. So I've been moving some of the ladybugs that I'm finding on my dill plants and moving them over here to help out with the aphids. But we've had a lot of beautiful monarch butterflies flying around the garden. Let's see if I can get close to this one. It's been a busy day here on our homestead. Usually I film my garden tour in the morning, but I'm not getting to it until this evening. There's been an unusual number of hummingbirds here in the garden today, making me think that we have some newcomers, some new babies that have hatched out. Down here in the lower garden, my asparagus is coming along nicely. So many lemons, just more than we know what to do with. Recently I made some lemon and strawberry ice cubes that we could add to our water. That's really nice. I've been enjoying so many of these golden berries on this plant. The birds love it too. The plant seems to be coming to its end, but really enjoy those. I'm not sure when I'll know when this pumpkin's ready. It started out yellow and it's ripened to orange, but I did try the rind and it seems to be a little soft yet. This pumpkin, I look forward to making some pumpkin pie with it. What I'd like to do is a baking experiment where I compare pumpkin pie to butternut squash pie to sweet potato pie and see which one we like best. I've been doing a lot more baking lately than usual. I've been trying to perfect my sourdough English muffin recipe, and I also made today, by request, an apple pie for my husband. Here in the lower garden I've got a little bit of foxglove. This seems to be the last foxglove I have in my garden at this time, and I collected some seeds from it so I can have some more. Now, in Alaska, I had a neighbor named Gianna, a really good friend of mine, and we were both gardeners, and we especially enjoyed growing foxglove together. So whenever I see foxglove, I think of Gianna. I was able to visit her last summer on my way to Alaska, right before she lost her battle with cancer. In an earlier video, I talked about how I'm trying to get my morning glories established all along this fence line. I'm having a measure of success in that regard. We have this, what seems to be a hardier variety, or maybe a perennial variety of morning glory growing. This yields some beautiful purple flowers. I'm not seeing any of them on it at this moment. And I'd love to have this cover the whole fence. Really, it's my dream to have morning glory thick like this all along this fence. Now the problem is that this plant has been trying to grow up into the neighbor's tree. So we've had to do quite a bit of pruning recently, both of the tree and the morning glory, so that they don't become entangled. I'm on the back side of the greenhouse where we're still getting so many strawberries. Is it fair to say that I'm tired of picking strawberries now? That's something I didn't think I would ever say. Of course, in Alaska, we also had strawberries, but it was a very short window of the year in which we could pick them. I'm loving all these strawberries, and as I said earlier, I made a batch this week of strawberry rhubarb jam. I made a video on that too, so you can look for that on my channel. But it's taking a lot of time to keep up with picking the strawberries, cleaning the strawberries, topping the strawberries, and I think I've got enough of them for now. Coming now into the greenhouse, I did get in here this week and give these pepper plants a good pruning. I've already gotten 2 harvests off of these, and they will grow again and we'll get more. Super happy with this celery. I've been picking it and eating it and sharing it with friends. This basil's doing fantastic. I've been sharing that far and wide. I've also been picking some of my basil and taking cuttings, or I should say suckers, off of these grape tomato plants. So what I do is I come in here and remove these suckers like this, and then I put them in water and root them so that I'll have new plants to fill up the rest of this bed. This is my prize sweet pea plant. It's doing better than any of the others. It's getting quite tall. I have high hopes for that. I also pruned back my eggplants. This one not quite as severely as the one on the end here. This one had grown so thick with foliage it didn't have enough airflow and it was getting kind of sick inside, so I pruned it way back. I believe it'll regrow. And then I found this little side shoot on it, so I dug that up, separated it from the main plant, and put it beside it. I want to show you this plant I've got here, this succulent that's blooming. This plant is called dulcamara, and the locals say it has medicinal properties. Here in the chicken and duck yard, we finally got in our wooden eggs that I got put into the hen house. Hopefully that's going to prevent them from eating the eggs. We'll see, time will tell. Our mother duck, sadly, has abandoned her nest. So this morning we collected the eggs in the nest and I candled them. The best I could tell, they had very minimal development. So she's still a young bird yet. We hope she'll try again. We want to see her raise some ducklings. That would be really exciting. What's been a lot of fun out here in the chicken yard is we have a young rooster. Where is he? There he is. That's the guy. He's always trying to mate with these bigger hens that have already been claimed by this rooster. So this rooster's really been getting his workout, chasing the little fellow off and guarding his hens. Here we are out in the pumpkin patch beside the bird yard, and one of these small birds has come over to the other side. And some of my black bean plants are coming up along here. But what really surprised me is that the beans that I soaked first to try to jumpstart the germination are coming in much slower than these. The ones that are coming up the best are the ones that I just planted dry. I've been noticing a lot of squash flowers out here in the pumpkin patch, so I'm hopeful that we're going to get a nice yield of, actually their butternut squash is what we're growing, and it seems like we're going to get a good yield out here in addition to all of the weeds that we're growing. But let me show you the new area that we've planted out here. Here's a nice looking butternut squash. So one thing we did this week is clear out this area, get it planted, or covered with some compost, what little we could spare, and then we got it planted with, this one is a white carrot, or zanahoria blanca, as they say locally. I got in some chard plants, some more zucchini, and it's conveniently located right next to the birds. These birds enjoy eating zucchini, and they enjoy all of those things that I mentioned. We haven't really found too much that they don't enjoy yet. We've been seeing increasing numbers of buzzards out here coming to drink the water. Not sure how we feel about that. It's kind of interesting, but we really would prefer they would leave this area alone, go find their own water somewhere. Look at all these birds. So there you have it, friend. That's what's going on in our homestead this week. Thanks for joining me, and we hope to see you next time. Bye, friend.